So what is up, guys? You got your boy Stingren here today, and today we're here to talk about the new Ekans and Arbok EX that was revealed as a part of the new 151 Pokemon set that's coming out to the TCG in Japan. And these cards actually look kind of interesting, so let's go and talk about it, and let's kind of give my personal thoughts. Keep in mind, I am still a new kind of member to the Pokemon TCG, so I may not be able to catch certain things. There might not be some decks and I know that could play this card. So I'm kind of free falling based off the experience that I've gathered from playing what I know now. So there's that. Anyway, so let's take a look at the card. So Ekans, pretty okay card. It's Acid Spray for double dark, 30 energy, and if you flip heads, you can discard energy attached to your opponent's active. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, if you flip heads and discard energy, not bad. Energy disruption is pretty cool. It could potentially buy you a turn before the opponent can attack you, depending on if they have any sort of energy acceleration in hand. So, not bad. I mean, it's not bad. But anyway, next up we have the Arbok EX. Let's take a look at the card. By the way, this art looks amazing. It's like it's lunging at you and a venom is coming out of its mouth. I love that. I love the art. And of course, I do love cards that kind of break out of like that little frame of where you would normally see the art for the card. As you can see, Arbok is kind of coming out at that bottom part right here, which is really cool. But I do love the artwork of this card. So anyway, let's talk about the card itself. So its first attack is bind down for a double dark, does 70 damage, and during your opponent's turn they cannot retreat. So being able to stop something from retreating is only good if they don't have a response, right? If they don't have a way to either attack into Arbok, 270 HP for a stage 1 is pretty good. That's actually pretty healthy. So it's not in the range to get one shot by most attacks in the game, unless you're running, you know, other ways to maybe power up attacks, like specific ones like Murderous Echo from Metaletta, for example, which can easily one shot Arbok if you can get all 4 fusion energy into your field. Subsway Soul with a belt can actually, no, Subsway Soul can't with a belt because it's the EX. There's not too many attacks I can really think off the top of my head, actually. I don't think United Wings, which is going to be the new like baby spam attack move, is enough to knock it out, even if you get all the Pokemon to discard. I don't know, it could potentially be enough, depending. But anyway, from what I know of the TCG, there's not too many cards that can just knock it out. I do know Origin Palkia can knock it out pretty consistently, especially if you can Star Chronos into it. You can knock it out with Darkrai if you get up on the energy. Mewtwo Being can knock it out pretty hard. Zacian can if he gets enough energy accelerated to it. So there's a few cards that of course can knock it out. Of course, Urshifu just eats his Sting for breakfast, which is commonly ran in the Lugia decks. So there's that. But anyway, if they don't have a response, not bad that they can knock it out. So there's that. Anyway, its third attack for triple dark energy is Menacing Fangs. It does 150 damage, and the opponent discards 2 cards from their hand. Now, 150 for stage 1 EX is a little low in my personal taste. I do like cards that can hit really hard just out of the gate. That way you can really start getting that prize exchange. But what if I were to say that Arbok could be potentially a counter prize exchange card? So what I mean by this is, there is only but one strategy I could think of at the top of my head that can make Arbok kinda insane, and that would be Iono. Now, if you guys don't know, Iono is a card that's coming from Paldea Evolve, which is going to be releasing in 6 more days. It comes out the 9th, as a card, right? So Paldea Evolve cards will be able to be obtained by the time this set drops, right? Which means Iono will be legally playable in most tournament requirement decks or any sort of deck that you want to play for the casual ladder. I think this is a really good card to combo with a Iono when you're in a clutch situation. Let's just say, right? Let's just say that you are ahead in the prizes, let's say 4-2. Let's just give an example. 4-2. And you have an Iono in hand with the Arbok. What you could do is Iono the opponent to 2, then you can attack into the Arbok, which would actually put them at 0 cards Of course, they'll be able to draw one, but chances are that one card may or may not able to clutch them out to victory. Now, of course, with most decks running some type of energy or card acceleration, chances are they're not going to stay at that one forever, but there are some cards that often do need to draw into their supports to get into it. For example, you're probably not going to stop an Arceus deck with that type of play because most play the Barrel Scovet engine, which you can simply just Scovet for another card off the top and then draw 4 more cards that they have a Barrel in play. So it's not going to be like a super clutch thing, but it's something that could potentially work. I would want to try it once this card maybe gets localized. If it does, it's interesting. I think it's an interesting type of tech. So I don't know if it's going to be like the new type of disruption card or anything like that, but being able to Iono down something to 2 and then you can go from there. And another good bonus that this card does get is another card coming from Paldea Evolve, which is going to be the Luminous Energy, which is this card right here, a Reversal Energy, my bad, the Reversal Energy. The Reversal Energy gives you 3 energy if you're ahead in prize exchanges. So basing it off my 4-2, my example from the 4-2 prize exchange from earlier, if you're ahead in prizes and you pop this card, and then you can give it just a Reversal Energy, then it gives it 3 energy. So that means you don't have to put much into the Arbok. So even if it gets knocked down in return, you don't lose too much energy, and you don't have to maybe change around your deck, because I feel like certain decks will play Reversal Energy, especially for the 3 prize attackers. I mean, for the 3 energy attackers, my bad, for when you're ahead in the prize exchange. So that could potentially work. I feel like it can work as a counter tech option for certain decks, as a dark box deck like Darkrai. Let's see, maybe like Darkrai V-Star or even Zorobox, which could receive some help from the new upcoming set as well. It could work. It could potentially work as an interesting tech option. I don't know if it's going to work. I personally think that it's going to be more so on a more so just on a niche scale. I don't think it's going to be meta at all. But I do imagine that maybe some decks will maybe want to try it just to see what the disruption game will be like, and it could potentially be a game winner. I mean, I don't think 150 is going to be knocking anything out, but maybe, you know, just that one extra turn could be your key turn to finish off the game to then knock something out. Of course, if you give Arbok EX a belt, then you can actually one-shot a Mew this way, which is, you know, not bad. I mean, of course, Drapion is free as hell because all you gotta do is just slap it on your bench and then you can just do it from there. But the really cool benefit of that is you get to disrupt the opponent. But since Mew is running Gensect and they can just draw calls on Fusion Strike System, it really doesn't slow them down, so it doesn't really help. I just think that cards that need to draw into something, maybe like Miraidon for example, could potentially be disrupted by this type of thing. Gardevoir maybe, but even still, if you have Refinement Curlias in play, you could just discard the 1 card, get a +2 instead, and maybe the +2 could potentially bind you out. And if you have more Curlias, then that means you could just draw more cards. So essentially, not a lot of the decks right now have, a lot of the decks right now have ways to get out of it. I don't think Palkia V-Star, considering that it does maybe rise back up if the help of Chi-Pao and Baxcalibur do prove to be true for the eastern side of the world, if it does help, you know what I mean, if it does help us. But yeah, I think the only deck I can really think of is the Miraidon deck though. I think Miraidon is the only one, because even if you combine this with Lost Box actually is completely fine, because you could just simply Comfey. You would only be able to discard the 1 card, and then you can draw into another one, and that could potentially get you something out of it. So yeah, but the only thing I can think of on top of my head is Miraidon. I think Miraidon's probably the only one that will definitely be affected by this attack. So, but as for decks that would play this card, I don't know what will really play the Arbok card. I don't know what would warrant playing the Arbok card as just as a tech option. It could be a fun just side inclusion in certain decks, but again, it's just, there's that. But anyway, that's my personal thoughts on the card. I think it's a solid card, but it's definitely more so on the niche casual side as opposed to going to be maybe tournament level as a card. I could maybe see someone maybe messing around with it and maybe building something. I personally want to mess around with it if it ever gets localized. So, speaking of adjusting, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.